Hi, everybody. I'm using a virtual background today because it's raining outside and I'm not feeling like I want a bright and showy background. I'm stunned, as I know that many of you are, with the numbers of those who have died from the coronavirus, COVID-19 virus. And I've been trying to wrap my head around my feelings as well as my understanding of 100,000. What is that like? So I'm just going to share with you some things that I have realized this morning, and then I'll end with a psalm. 100,000 souls have died so far through this epidemic. 100,000 seconds equals 27.8 hours. So if a person died every second, it would take 27.8 hours over one day, a day and 3 hours, almost 4 hours, with a person dying every second. 100,000 minutes equals 69.4 days. So if a person died every minute, it would take us 69 days, over 2 months, with every minute. 100,000 hours is 4,167 days. So if one person died every hour, it would take us 11.4 years to reach this number. Think about that. I mean, just think about that. Here is a 10-second period, 10 seconds of silence. You ready? Wait a minute. Here we go. 10 seconds. There. That period of time that we just experienced, 10 seconds. If we counted one person dying during that period, for every person who has died so far from coronavirus, we would not reach the 100,000 mark for 11 and a half days. So I thought, well, okay, that's time. That's hard to picture. Let's go with something physical. I thought about pennies. You know, we all have them. We all throw them away sometimes. We find them, we pick them up for good luck. 100,000 pennies equals $1,000. Then I thought, well, okay, let's look at something bigger. So I thought about the Earth. The circumference of the Earth is 25,000 miles. That means that if one life equals 1 mile, and we all can imagine how long it takes us to walk or drive 1 mile, we would have to travel around the Earth at the equator 4 times to represent all the people who have died just in this country in the last 2 months from this virus. If we keep one life equal to 1 mile, 100,000 miles means that we could fly back and forth from Maine to Los Angeles. How many times? 34 times. 34 times cross country. The Super Bowl holds 65,000 people. We can all imagine what that's like when the camera pans around. We see all the people. In order to have 100,000 people die, everybody in the Super Bowl stadium would have to die. Everybody. And then another half a stadium. The Empire State Building, put that in your mind, okay? That's 1,474 feet tall. 100,000 feet equals 68.7 Empire State Buildings in feet. To run 100,000 yards would be the same as running the length of 1,000 football fields, right? 100-yard football field, which is 56.8 miles. So if you could run or walk 100 yards, the length of one football field per hour, it would take 1,000 hours or 42 days nonstop. That's 6 weeks nonstop to reach a number that would represent all those who have died in this country. And that's just so far. But every person who died reflected a loss to their entire circle, their entire community, whether we're talking about, their family, parents, mothers, fathers, children, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, co-workers. We have all lost from this collective community. And each loss brings with it, just a hole in the fabric of our being, a hole in the fabric of who we are as a nation, as individuals, as community. The grieving and the longing, the sense of loss is almost palpable in our country right now. But we blame it on anxiety or I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong. Things don't feel quite right. Well, no kidding. 100,000 people's energies have been sucked away from us. 100,000 circles of community, overlapping circles. So multiply that. Family, business, neighborhood, church, teams, whatever, schools, hospitals. So it's much greater than 100,000. We're talking probably 1 million or more people are feeling these losses. And there's a grieving and there's a longing, and the sense of loss is almost palpable. The loss of people, the loss of jobs right now, the loss of trust. For many, the loss of hope. I don't know how many cups it would take to hold 100,000 tears. There are millions of us crying them. And I don't know how to take this all in, except to grieve and to try and look ahead, which some days is easier than others. And ultimately, for me, it is to believe that no matter what we are going through, we are not alone. God is with us because our God weeps with us. Our God grieves with us. Right now, we weep in the night, but there will be joy in the morning. We just have to hang on. We just have to hang on because we know that God is hanging on to us. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will rest and dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I'm Deb Swift, pastor of South Presbyterian Church in Rochester, New York, and you have been engaging in a prayerful pause with the pastor. Until next time, keep the faith. Dare to believe. Cry tears and grieve. Take care. I'll see you next time, God willing.